All right, so let's continue and get the slideshow done right now because you have enough background uh, for us to quickly go through it. So HTML is the skeleton. It's the structure. It is where things are placed on a web page. Now we're going to look at something called a DOM soon, DOM. So this whole structure is in memory inside your web browser. Now, if I go to the next slide, HTML, of course, stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And if you look at what they show you here, you can see how the structure is built. Here's a headline. They use, a newspaper as an example here. Here's your headline. Here's a lot of paragraphs in a block, another paragraph in a block, another one in a block. Then there's an image. And then these are, of course, they say boxes. All right, there's better naming. We call it cards. And we look at lingo soon. But here's all the different cards. So it's a whole layout is done, right? Using Hypertext Markup Language, HTML. So it's pure structure, and its only thing is that it asks is, what is this? So this is a photo, this is a title, this is a button, this is a paragraph, and so forth. And then place it in the correct places on the web page. Once that is done, all right, then of course we're going to give it some skin and styling. All right, so we have, as you can see, here's the skeleton, the structure, and now we're going to make it look great, beautiful, professional. And that is your cascading style sheets, CSS. And what is part of CSS, much more than just spacing. There's also colors, fonts, shadows, layouts, rounded corners, all kinds of things like that. Fonts now can be multicolored. You can put shadows around boxes, many more things. But this is the main things, space things out. So that is probably the most important thing when you create a web page, is the spacing. How much open space is there? Because there should be a lot, because else everything feels crammed in. All right, and there's no need to have things crammed in. It doesn't read well. It looks chaotic, right? So you use a lot of open spaces. I don't want to say white spaces, but open spaces, because spaces can be black spaces, green spaces, any color, as long as it's like a background color and that it is not overpopulated with all kinds of things. People do believe, and it is to a point true, that a picture says 1,000 words. The question is it giving the correct 1,000 words? All right, and is the 1,000 words even necessary on that page? So it's from ugly to premium. All right, so we're going to spend a lot of time on making things look great. Now comes the muscle and the movement. And here you have JavaScript. Now the interesting of JavaScript is an engine that's built into your web browser. So when you download a web browser, the JavaScript engine is there by default. So when you send your web page through to your browser, maybe from your hard drive, maybe from your, you have a directory in documents and you open up a web page. That JavaScript is read by your browser, and the movement and so forth is done by your browser. Your browser is executing the stuff. So it is not something lying somewhere on a server that needs to go to your web browser from the internet, making a display or something. It is there by default on your web browser. So yes, on a click, something can happen. The button can flash a different color. If you scroll over things, maybe like a card, it can, the borders can become like a neon green or something. You can animate things rolling or scrolling through your screen. You can do calculations. For instance, that counter that counted from 1 to 500, for instance, it is a real counter that says count from 1 to 500, and the counting will be done. And it can react to things. So JavaScript makes your web page interactive, right? It makes you browse the website better because you can immediately see things like, oh, this is a button, or it is clickable, or an image can even be swapped out. So it can show an image, and if you move over it, another image appear. That is very much like storytelling. This is how it was, this is how it will be, before, after, that type of things. That's all interactive stuff that you can build into your HTML. And then, of course, data validation. Did the guy put in his name? If not, and he clicks submit, there will be a little pop-up coming up saying, please enter your name. So that's the complete body then you have for all web pages. That's really all you need. All right. So what do you need to do? Do you need to understand CSS coding? Do you need to understand all these lines? Or should you just be able to, should you be able to code it yourself, is more what I want to say. Or should you just understand how it all works? So the answer is you just need to understand how this works. You need to understand there's something like HTML. You need to understand style sheets. Now you saw on the top of that HTML, or the first page we did, with all that JavaScript in it, as well as all the style sheets in the heading. Those things can actually be placed in a separate file, and we will look at that soon. And you need to understand that you don't have all that styling in each page. You can have a single page with all that styles in it, and then just reference that page in the HTML page, and have that one file, say, for 10 different pages. And guess what? You have this one style file, and you can go make changes in that one style file, and it will reflect throughout all the pages that is connected to that one style file. That is good programming. That's how programming works. By default, when it comes to style, you have one big style file. We're going to create it soon, and all pages go and look inside that style file to know what fonts should be used, what heading sizes should be, what colors should be. And also you have only one file from now on to change, and it will reflect through the whole website. Now it's important because your website needs to be consistent. If your buttons is blue, then it must be blue all over, not a blue one, a green one, an orange one. It does not look right. It is not professional. It does not make sense. It takes away from the user's experience if things are not all looking very much the same throughout. You know, if you have a font of H1 that is a certain height, and on the next page is a different height, you know, it doesn't look consistent. It gives the feeling of a little bit of chaoticness. Okay, so there you go. That is it. You know, when it comes to the 3 pillars, that's all you need to understand when you're going to create web pages. But now think of how you can prompt. You can say, please use some JavaScript in the heading that will take the headline text and make it dim and bright over a 5-second period. It should go to dim and then come back to bright. I think it will look ugly, but I just want to explain something of how you can start to talk now as a architect when you speak to AI. You can say, take this card and have the image of the overweight girl in it with our product picture, and if someone moves their mouse over it, make the image flip to an after picture of a girl that is now on a beach, and still show the product there, right? A little story has been told, the before after story, but you can now say it to AI and AI will understand what it should do. So that is it for this lesson. In the next lesson we're going to do some lingo, some talk about how you name things so that AI knows exactly what you talk about. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.